but he can't. He feels even worse when he sees John going home with her. Poor guy. He struggles to breathe, sits alone, and thinks about her. He remembers when he confessed his love to her, and she rejected him. When he asked whether she loved John, she dodged the question without answering. That's when he truly realized that she loved John, and that he had expected this all along. Overwhelmed, he starts doing breathing exercises underwater, while crying uncontrollably. A flashback takes him back to graduation day. He was supposed to give her the traditional gift students exchange during love confessions, but he changed his mind. He followed her and saw John confess his love. Her answer wasn't clear, but she also didn't say she didn't love him. Shin's heart shattered, and he cried in pain. The next day, we return to our heroes as they visit the aquarium again. The girl working there warns them that photography is forbidden because the creatures are sensitive and find it disturbing. Then the two of them start arguing like cat and mouse, mixed with romance, tenderness, and love. Without realizing it, they end up holding hands. On their way home, she suddenly asks him if he wants to try something new. He asks what she means, and she takes him on the scooter. They fly like birds, and the disaster is that she's the one driving. We all know how romantic moments like these are. In truth, he was the only one fully living the romance of the moment, while our beautiful girl was completely swept up in excitement, feeling like a butterfly flying among flowers. The next day, the four friends get together again. Their fourth friend brings drinks from the fridge, but Shin and Zizi surprise everyone by saying they don't drink. John feels embarrassed and is forced to lie, saying that he doesn't drink either. After all, Shin can't look better than him in front of the girl. Then they start playing Truth or Dare, and it's John's turn. They all ask him whether he has ever lied to Zizi before. Now he's completely stuck. If he answers the question, he's a liar. If he drinks, he's also a liar. Either way, he's exposed. He's about to lie again and say he never lied to her, but his friend warns him, "Be careful, man. This game doesn't allow lying, only the truth." John freezes, his face turning pale. Zizi asks him, "So what is it? Are you lying to me? Or what exactly is your story?" Thankfully, Shin steps in kindly and makes something up to save him, saying it was just a small white lie and that she shouldn't overthink it. From that moment on, Shin and John become very close friends. On their way home, they race each other on bicycles. Suddenly, a car cuts in front of Shin, causing him to fall badly and injure his hands. John rushes back and asks if he should call an ambulance. Shin tells him he's fine and there's no need. John agrees, and they continue. But suddenly, Shin collapses again, shaking violently. He has epilepsy, and the fall triggered a seizure. John immediately calls an ambulance, and Shin is rushed to the hospital. Unfortunately, he arrives too late and passes away. This becomes a devastating shock for both John and Zizi, as they were the closest people to him. For days, they remain in a state of numb shock, with memories replaying endlessly in their minds. One day, while John is still grieving, his sister, the doctor, comes to him and tells him to stop destroying himself and start preparing for university the next day. She gives him some money and talks to him about their parents who passed away, telling him that she sees him not just as a brother, but as her son. She asks him to change for his own sake, not for anyone else. Shen's death deeply affects John, and he truly becomes a different person. He apologizes to his sister for all the lies he told her recently, and promises that starting tomorrow, he will be a new man. She comforts him with kind words, reminding him that no one knows what the future holds. After packing his bag, John goes to Zizi's house and asks her to take him to the bus station. She agrees. On the bus, he finally shocks her by confessing that he doesn't have stomach cancer at all. Zizi gets upset and asks him why he lied, telling him that the thing she hates most is lying. She moves away from him, sits alone sadly, and leaves him behind. Later, she sends him a message saying she's glad he's okay and wishes him success in his life. Then, she blocks him. John spends days trying to reach her with messages and calls, but nothing works. So what does he do? He sends a message through his closest friend. When the message reaches her, the friend asks her not to be too angry with John, explaining that he didn't mean to lie and that it all started just to escape the principal's harassment. They had planned to tell her the truth but never found the right moment. These words affect her deeply. Later, she opens John's message, which turns out to be a video. In it, he says that one day he met a beautiful girl. At first, he thought she was annoying, but he never imagined she would be the one to change his entire life for the better and turn him into a new person. Suddenly, the video ends, revealing that the message has a second part. The next day, John calls his friend and asks if he delivered the message. The friend confirms that he did. John wonders why Zizi still hasn't unblocked him and what he should do next. At that moment, campus security calls him and tells him he has a visitor. The surprise is that the visitor is Zizi herself, asking him to finish the rest of the message. John feels shy, completely unused to romantic situations like this. In the end, she asks him to go somewhere with her quickly. Of course, he happily agrees. He takes her on the scooter, and they speed off like a rocket. Where do they go? To a yacht in the middle of the sea. There, Zizi asks John to wear a diving suit and take Shin's final message, placing it in the message box at the bottom of the water. John does exactly that. After he comes back up, the diving instructor suddenly shouts, telling him that his friend has fainted. John rushes her to the hospital. There, he sees the wounds on her hands and is shocked. Realizing that she has blood cancer, he asks her why she hid it from him and why she didn't tell him the truth. She smiles, a smile full of strength and optimism, and tells him she didn't want to see pity in anyone's eyes. She lived strong, and she intends to die strong. She explains that she decided to do everything she loves by herself and lives by the rule, don't postpone today's dream until tomorrow. Since John truly loves her now, he decides to donate his bone marrow to her, but his sister becomes very worried about him and strongly opposes this decision. She sees his decision as nothing more than recklessness, but John is so determined that he goes to meet Zizi's doctor, the one responsible for her case. The doctor reassures him that the donation depends on the compatibility rate between their blood, whether it's positive or negative. If it turns out to be positive, they'll put their trust in God and proceed with the transplant, hoping for the best. The next day, John visits her at the hospital. Both of them are very happy, yet each tries to hide the sadness in their heart from the other. She immediately senses it and asks him if he's okay. He answers meaningfully, "Of course." Then she tells him that she always wished she could be like him, cheerful, ambitious, and full of love for life. She explains that she had always dealt with her illness with extreme caution, medication exactly on time, healthy food, endless doctor visits and checkups. But after meeting him and getting to know him, she realized that not everything in life has to follow strict schedules and rigid rules, that there's room for laughter, fun, and joking too. John listens to her words, deeply moved. Afterward, he leaves and returns to university, where it becomes clear how ambitious he has become. Finally having a real goal he truly wants to achieve. The most beautiful part is that he visits her almost every day, and she constantly tries to reassure him that she's happy and doing well. She asks him, "Do you want me to tell you about the last message I received from Shen?" Then she tells him what was written in it, that Shen dreamed of becoming a diving coach after graduation, and wanted to go down to see the mailbox of love beneath the water. When she placed the message at the bottom of the river, she was trying to fulfill his final wish. She also tells John that Shin dreamed of traveling to America to study, and that he loved her deeply. He used to be jealous of John, but in the end, he grew to love him very much. John listens attentively, admiring her innocent, beautiful features. When it's his turn to speak, he pulls out his university card and asks her to congratulate him. He's finally a proper, respectable college student, and tomorrow she'll be very proud of him. She smiles and asks him what he wants to become after graduation. He tells her that he never used to think about the future at all, but everything has changed. His outlook and way of thinking have completely transformed, all because of her. He admits that he loves her to the point of madness, that he's deeply in love with her, and that he'll do anything for her. As he pours his heart out, she breaks down. From the look in her eyes, it's clear that she loves him too, but she doesn't want to tell him, because if she were to die, God forbid, she doesn't want to leave an emptiness in his life. Later, John goes to visit her parents to make up for her absence. In truth, they are overjoyed with him and incredibly happy. They prepare an amazing meal for him. Honestly, anyone would wish to be there. After eating, John asks if he can spend the night at their house, and even asks to sleep in his room. Her parents are surprised at first, but eventually agree. When he enters her room, he looks through her belongings, her notebooks, notes, and delicate, beautiful toys. In the final scene, we see him return to the same place, diving underwater and placing her final message into the mailbox. This tells us that she has passed away. Then we see him taking an exam, completely unfocused, because he can't stop thinking about her. Every time he remembers her, he breaks down in tears even more. From that day on, he becomes a lonely, sad person, visiting only the places they once went together. Everywhere he goes, memories of them replay before his eyes, showing just how painful separation truly is. And that's our move ends here. Please like and subscribe. See you in the next drama. Goodbye.